believe we're live. Everything seems to be working. Sweet. You gonna watch the NA Battlegrounds tourney today? Probably not. I've not watched a single video about that game other than like a single one. I don't really have much interest in watching a tournament of it right now. Live! Exclamation point. Alrighty. Seems to be working. Me6 posted it as soon as I said live. Perfect timing today. Alright. Awesome. Everything seems to be working properly. Now we'll see if Premiere actually wants to cooperate. That will be the problem. Premiere wasn't playing audio a minute ago, so I had to relaunch it here. So I've got a 30-minute long unboxing I need to edit, along with the, I have like a gaming mouse review I can do most of the editing on, probably. But this main unboxing video is what I really need to focus on here. So hopefully Premiere cooperates here in just a second, and we'll be good to go. The most ridiculous unboxing I have ever attempted. That is what the video will be called. Accurate title, too. Go, go, go. Oh, Premiere. Alright, so going over what I have here for the edit. So I used 5 different camera angles. My Panasonic G7 was the main up front camera angle. And then I had a phone shot for like a side view / my face cam. And then I had a camera kind of back off to the right. I had a camera mounted on the table itself and a camera mounted above it. So this is going to be a big multicam edit, where I have to sync up all the different cuts of the audio of the video to the audio itself. And then I have to do a multicam of the 5 different camera angles. And my main A cam actually cut out here. Yay! Almost at 75 cents per stream for me. But my main camera angle actually cut out here with about 4 or 5 minutes left. So I've got to work around that too. That's a little annoying because the G7 has a 30-minute recording limit. What's up, Broskade? And I didn't realize I hit that 30-minute limit, and then the camera went, stopped recording and then went to sleep. So that will be fun. So I've already made my audio sync here for the G7, but then I have to come over here and sync up the other camera angles. So here we have the main phone view. So merge clips, phone-A1. I don't know if the second clip is relevant or not. Like, I don't know if that's from this cut. If they wouldn't have limited the number of ads, you'd be at more. Yeah, I guess they just did that so that affiliates didn't spam it, I guess. Which makes sense, it's just annoying. Phone-A2. So I've got my Panasonic G7, my phone in selfie mode, my PowerShot, my little point-and-shoot camera, T3i, and then my big camcorder. And they're all different angles. Alright, phone audio, that's a 1080p 30 clip audio. So phone A1. Make sure that looks synced up here, and it will be upside down, yeah. Alright, so I don't know why it recorded upside down, but I just have to flip it.
Showing you the projects that I'm working on.
Alright, that's in sync. What about the second one? Is this even relevant? Yes, it is. Hey, hey.
I don't know.
Alright, that's upside down as well. 180, not 1810, 180. There we go.
I think my main AK.
Alright. Now I have to do the same thing with the PowerShot. PowerShot A1. Got to get our audio synced up here. Hope everyone's having a great start to your day. Let me make sure Twitch is still working. Excellent. Look like bitrate's holding up. Alright, we are good. PowerShot. Actually, it's 1080p 30 again. A1. I'm gonna edit on a 4K 24 FPS timeline, but I have 1080p 30, 1080p 60, 1080p 24, and 4K 24 footage all together on this timeline, so it's gonna be a little complicated. I don't actually have a clue if this is where this syncs up or not. Yeah, it is.
It's time to...
Okay. All right. So that's that camera. Now we have over here on the side T3i. Oh God, what are you doing to friggin' Widow? All right. So I've got 71. Yeah, so I've got 4 different shots recorded from my T3i. Gotta merge them all together, because it just kind of stops recording on its own after a few. Thank you for the 10 bits, bro skate. Oh yeah, I gotta update my patron slide. Yeah. I didn't get to that before today, but I'll have to do it before my stream tomorrow. Hell yeah. What's up, Giaco? Yo, I did a 30-minute unboxing of like 100 different products that I'm working on reviews of at the moment, all at once. So, pretty freaking nuts. And so I want to edit it together. 5 different camera angles. It's going to be a multicam edit of a 30-minute freaking unboxing. When I do unboxings, I go crazy, which is why I don't do them very often. You'll get to see here in a second once I get this edited together. T3i A3. Then we just have the camcorder, which should mostly be like 1 or 2 files, so that won't be too much to sync up here. Oh, actually, and this 4th one is a separate clip that I just threw on at the end.
Boxing video was.
You get to see this is the aftermath of my studio after the unboxing, just in case you were curious. This is what the studio looked like.
This is it. Took me
insane. All right, so T3i audio, and that one was 1080p 24. I don't think I actually have a 1080p 24 preset. Oh yeah, I don't. Okay, I have to fix that. 23.976. Turn off max bit depth. There we go. 1080p 24 FPS. I never shot in 24 FPS when I was shooting with my T3i main, so this is kind of my first time doing it. All right, A1. Let me make sure that looks like it's in sync.
P1 RGB.
Yep. Mute out the other tracks here. A2. Yeah, there's gaps as well, because, like my room after a package receiving total mess. Yeah, there's a gap here because I didn't always catch whenever the T3i stopped recording or I was like in the middle of talking. So there's a couple gaps, but it should, with all the different camera angles I have set up, it should do a good overall coverage job.
Nice logo branding.
Yeah, everything's in sync there. All right, great. I'm going to drag this last clip out to the main root directory. That way I know that it's not part of the multicam here. And then lastly, we just have the Vixia. Oh, that's in the wrong folder. Premiere, with the recent update, bins have been totally jacked up. Like, they added a lot of new features and a lot of cool updates, but bins have been jacked up. All right, so we have 3 clips from the camcorder. Camcorder A1. Just got to keep doing syncing. I was speaking about affiliates the last editing stream, and it seems the company T-Blocks have sent me an email about becoming an affiliate. Well, look. Ask and you shall receive. No. that is a good coincidence. I mean, that's good that it happened. Hopefully it works out for you. I've never actually heard of them, but should be pretty cool. Camcorder A2. Yeah, multicam is tedious to set up and then fairly easy to edit through. I did a video on it. It was like super long-winded because there's not an easy way to go about it. But I did a video about it already, just kind of explaining how I edit multicam. Because I was doing that a lot back in 2016. I haven't done it much anymore. All right. And these are 1080p 60, right? Yes. So new 1080p 60 camcorder A audio. High pitch behind your microphone sound. I don't know. It just happens sometimes with my audio processing rack, since I have so much audio hardware hooked up together. Sometimes there's just inherent electrical hiss. Not a whole lot I can do about it, to be honest. I've already spent a long time ripping my hair out trying to fix it. I just have to use music beds and stuff to cover it up usually. It's just it's a mix of electrical hiss in the actual system, you know, that gets kind of filtered out when the noise gate deactivates, and then also my big server rack produces computer fan sound that the mic sort of picks up, but it only picks up when I'm talking. So a mix of those two that just I can't really do anything about, unfortunately. I mean, at some point, I'll hopefully be able to upgrade to higher quality rack gear if someone will send me it, but that's a long ways away. All right, dragging on and matching up the tracks here. Wham, bam. Oh, and I forgot to do adjustment layers for all these as well, because I will want to go back through and do some color work once I have everything synced up. Yeah, no, it's unfortunately there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I'm using gear that's often from like the 90s and stuff for my audio processing stuff, so there's not, and it's all analog instead of like USB or anything, so that adds more. At some point I'll upgrade, but I can't at the moment. And like you never really hear it in videos because of how I handle it, but in live streams, if I don't have like game sound or something, you can usually hear it. All right, and then G7 audio. All right, adjustment layers made. All right, so I've made here my different timelines for my synced up audio. So I have my Panasonic G7, which is 4K 24, my phone, my camera that was kind of mounted on the table for a couple shots, which I'll have to use to fill in some of the gaps for sure since my main cam cut out, my T3i, which was kind of back off to the corner, and then my camcorder, which was up above. And so I've got my five timelines. So now I need to make a new sequence that's called stack. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it stack. And where is it? 4K 24. And then basically I need to drag all of those sequences into the stack timeline and start with essentially what order I want them in. So G7 audio is number 1 here. And the problem is, oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, I didn't mute out any of the, all my G7 muting got undid. There we go. The problem is you have to line it up by audio as well, which may not work out so hot. So that will be problem 2. Actually, what I might be able to do, we could try it a different way. So I'm going to click over here to the side, drag all of my audio sequences into the multicam bin here, and I'm going to try to do it a different way. I don't have a clue where my phone audio sequence went. Or that one. What? Where did they go? I'm losing sequences here. T3i audio into multicam. So I got G7, T3i phone. I don't know where PowerShot audio went. Camcorder audio. I don't know where PowerShot audio went. Not in this one. Not in this one. Not in the, what? Where the hell is this sequence? Oh. I made a sequence called PowerShot 1A. That's where I screwed up. Okay. Duh. Alright, so now what I theoretically can do is highlight all of these audio sequences, right click, and choose create multi-camera source sequence. I don't know if this will work. So I'm going to try it here. Alright, so T-blocks is like loot crate. Cool. Alright, so we have sync points, audio track. It's going to try to match them up by the audio. All cameras, audio channels, mono. Use track names, use clip names. Like, okay. I don't know if this will work. I think it's going to try to sync them up all at once. Funny thing is, I love badass camera gear, but I prefer to have compact digital audio setup. Like an expensive audio interface with built-in DSPs. Looking to buy a Tascam UH7000, built-in EQ compressor DXer. All without any latency. That's not bad. Like, I honestly, could not synchronize one or more clips. Oh, you're not even viewing the main monitor. Could not synchronize one or more clips because a match could not be found. Well, that's not a good sign. I don't think it even tried making the sequence then. All right, then yeah, I have to stack them myself. So I have to drag in here to my stack sequence all of these. So basically what I have to do is zoom in to where the audio track starts. Oh, and see, that's not even synced up properly. So line those up and make a marker on each sequence so that I can line up the markers. And like for that one, it starts at the beginning, so that's fine. But I still need to make a marker so that I can sync up the markers. And like that one does not start at the beginning, so I need to go to the exact frame it starts, make a marker. Make a marker. All right. So now I have a marker for all of them. I can kind of drag this out a little bit and then drag in the other audio. And then wherever that marker is, it'll kind of link them up there, since they're all kind of at different points. There we go. And then you can see they all start at different times pretty much, but they're all linked up. Oh, and the next big thing, well, I need to set everyone to be the correct frame size. So set to frame size, set to frame size, set to frame size, so that they're all 4K. So then I make a new multicam sequence from this one. So over here on the side monitor, right click, new sequence from clip. It froze Premiere. Okay, that's not, there we go. And then instead of stack, I call it multicam. Open the multicam sequence, and then we'll select it in the timeline back on the main monitor. Go to clip, multicamera, enable, and then turn on the multicam view in here. And if I click forward in the video, we see all the different camera angles with whatever ones get cut out at different points. And then I can edit using the multicamera view here, and I just select which frame I want at a given time. Never worked with multicam sequence. How is it? It's tedious to set up, as I just showed, like however long I've been streaming now, already like 20 minutes. That's how long it took me just to set up the multicam. And then I want to mute out all but the bottom audio track, basically. But so it's super tedious to set up, and the preview can be a little laggy, but on the whole, like you just have, it's like a live switcher. You just select them and switch between them. So the actual like cutting process can be fairly straightforward and easy. All right, all this without any latency. Oh yeah, I was going to respond to that. 2496 kilohertz, 24-bit, 96 kilohertz, pristine quality. I love Tascam gear. See, my thing is, I just prefer the sound usually from hardware audio processing. Like the overall sound when it's not having random electrical hits is actually a lot better in my opinion. Like I can usually just tell when something's digital, which is sometimes an effect I want and I'll go for. But otherwise, I like the hardware compressors, especially the high quality ones. I'd rather spend $500 specifically on a good compressor, a good sounding compressor. Because a digital audio just doesn't have any character to it. Like, I like my manual vintage lenses because they all add different character to how the video looks. Same thing with audio hardware. They have specific character to how it sounds that you can't really recreate in digital. That being said, when I was borrowing that RME Babyface Pro, and I could just hook everything up to USB and do it all live and not have any lag issues or electrical hits issues, I certainly do envy those that can have that kind of setup. But I usually can't make those kinds of big, expensive purchases all at once. So, I don't know. What my ideal goal would be to still have an audio rack setup that I can then run into a digital interface. Like I've had some driver issues with my Focusrite interface, but if I could use something like that, or they have a rack mounted one, and just run all this into that and get rid of the electrical hiss, that would be ideal. But for now. But it's a tough thing. When you don't have a ton of budget, You're talking about a $500 box, and my audio rack costs like $120, $150. What are you talking about? Don't have a ton of budget. The digital stuff is way more expensive. All right. Let's start the multicam cutting, and I guess I'll make this a little bigger. I don't like to screw with my workspace for streams, but you can see it. It's there. You can see what the multicam looks like. So currently we're on my main camera view, and I'm going to have to do a lot of color work because that is like all completely blown out and overexposed and very obnoxious. And actually, I need to add something here to the G7 clip up until I get to a certain product, which may be a long time, actually. I don't remember when I pulled the box out. There we go. Got the box there. So I basically need to cover up a couple boxes. Not the boxes themselves, just the labels on them. All right, so I'm going to print screen this so that it's not like higher enough resolution you guys can see it. I'm going to copy it, pop open Photoshop for a second. You want to fight, huh? You want to fight, see? You want to do some fisticuffs? Come on, Photoshop. Photoshop has gotten slower and slower to load since they've updated it. All right, new UHD 300. Paste. All right, we're going to make this the full size, and I'm just going to do a quick little blur shape thing. Yeah, you can't see any of that. Exactly what I want. And just make basic shapes. So wham bam, it'll look obnoxious AF, but I have to cover my rear, so to speak. We'll transform that one to at least fit the direction of the label, and then yes, and one more here. See, originally I was only gonna open my new tripod, and that be it. My new tripod legs and the new light kit. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do an unboxing, I might as well unbox everything. And then I tried to make sure I pulled shipping labels off everything, and I wound up throwing a couple boxes in that I didn't realize even had shipping labels on them. So I've got to cover that up. Like, it's super overexposed, and you can't really see anything anyway, but I have to do my due diligence to make sure I don't get doxxed or whatever. Where am I going? Active projects. Most ridiculous unboxing ever. Blur.psd. Hopefully people don't find it too distracting. Alright, let's drag this in here. Yes, Behringer is more cheaper stuff sometimes. I'm not going to, I mean, obviously it's cheaper, but it's, excuse me, goodness, on the less quality side sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit that, but it served my purposes. All right, at that point, it's completely unseeable, so I will have it up to there, covering those, but then whenever I pull out that top box, I will want to crop off the top bars.
I'm just trying to get through all the stuff that I'm not actually unboxing here. So here we have the box.
Yeah, right there.
Trying to get through.
Cut that, add a crop. Crop off the top. Maybe I shouldn't have done that so early.
Through all the stuff that I'm not actually unboxing here. So here we have the box for my Mackie.
Throw it there. All right.
Then we have the box.
Good enough. Doesn't really matter. All right, now we can do the multicam. See you later, Giaco. I know any amount is good, but would you consider a growth of 500 subs per month above average for a 10K plus channel? I mean, here's the thing, is there is no average growth, because the faster you grow, the bigger channel size you get, and the quicker you get out of those, like, categories of channels and stuff. Oh, that box isn't even shown for a while. Shit. Okay, I've got to adjust that label again. So, I mean, 500 subs per month is a great growth for any channel. Obviously, the bigger you get, your growth tends to scale with that. But you can't really see anything as like an average growth, because everyone's growth is different. Like, there is no net average of that. So 500 for a 10K plus channel is probably pretty good. All right, so starting here, going back, I'll add a crop this time to crop out the bottom box, since that's covered up by the tripod. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, now multicam time.
Hey guys, this is Epos. This is probably by far the most insane unboxing I've ever done, or at least attempted, who knows if this will happen, on the channel. I don't always do unboxings, but
No,
when
that wasn't quick enough. Need to zoom in a little bit. So basically choose that one now.
I don't always do unboxings, but when I do, I go a little bit crazy.
Then which camera am I going to talk to next?
I'll
talk to that one.
So just to get any sort of
I did do an annoying thing. This is what always happens when I do multicam, is I try to make an effort to talk to the different cameras, but then when I'm editing live, I find it difficult to keep up with which camera I'm actually facing, and that makes the multicam edit faster. But basically, I don't know if you can see down here, I'll do my little zoom in thing. Whenever you click between the cameras as the video's playing back, it makes cuts, and then the cuts have the different cameras. So you can see G7 audio on the left, phone audio in the middle, and then it's back on the T3i on the right. But then if you aren't playing back and you change the camera angle, it changes it for that entire clip. So you got to be really good with your timing, and instead of watching the main preview, which is what I always do and end up screwing up, you got to watch the you got to watch all the previews, that way you know what you're selecting.
Leading claims out of the way. Not all of these are going to be unboxed today, and some of these are big shipping boxes for other things that I will be getting, or that I will be
opening. And there I just randomly switched cameras I'm talking to entirely.
Is for other things that I will be getting, or that I will be opening specifically. Some of these are already open. This is more of a channel update kind of video where I'm showing you the projects that I'm working on. I just wanted to have a little bit more fun with it and actually appeal to those who just want to look at the tech stuff and not listen to the meta back-end discussion. So we have a lot of boxes here that I need to unbox, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to start with the easier things to pull off of this giant...
Man, I'm super overexposed there. I didn't even, like, have a chance. Ugh.
Giant mess, and go deeper from there.
Camera am I talking
Starting all the way up top here.
I guess I'll do...
So starting all the way up top here, we have...
Nope, that was a cut in the middle. I just need to run with that.
So starting all the way up top here, we have mostly a couple keyboard boxes. So this is...
And then I switch.
Couple keyboard boxes. So this is the Epic Gear Defiant, which I will hopefully be reviewing at some point. I honestly hate the keyboard. It's...
Then I switch cameras again. Damn it, why do I do this to myself? I was trying to be more creative to make the video more entertaining, since it's absurd. But that makes editing it so much more tedious, which is why I'm editing it now. I shot this today, and I want to get the editing done. I just want to be done with it.
Honestly hate the keyboard. It's been my least favorite keyboard, and it may be my most negative review. So I've been really putting off the review. But I did get this in for review back in October when I moved into this apartment, and I'm only just really getting to it. And like I said, I hate it. It feels kind of bad.
Yes, I cannot stand fake. I actually have a whole tutorial on how to work around that, and a whole rant / tutorial on how to avoid using fake black bars on your video, because I can't stand it that much. Like, it bothers me that much. All right, we are gonna come hang out while I edit. Smiley. Yeah, I made a whole video ranting and tutorialing about it because it bothers me so much. And every time I see it, I get more mad that anyone would do that. Right, what am I even pulling down?
Next up.
Okay, we have more keyboards.
Next up, we have the Logitech G413 Silver and the G810 Orion Spectrum, both of which reviews will be live by the time you see this video. New keyboards from Logitech, been having a blast reviewing them, and the G810 was my favorite. I called it my favorite gaming keyboard, but then the G413 ended up being my favorite keyboard overall that I've used, slightly in competition with the WASD keyboards I've been reviewing, so pretty crazy. What else do we have?
All right, and then I switched to the top angle. The only reason I can think it is bad because if you view it on a screen with a different aspect ratio, yes, that is the #1 problem. Like, there were plenty of other points I brought up against it, but that's the #1 thing, is that the video player does not adapt to the screen size if you manually hard bake black lines in. So if you're making a 21:9 video on a 16:9 canvas and just throw black bars there or leave the background blank, then anyone watching on a 21:9 monitor is screwed. If you make a 4:3 video and make it on a 16:9 canvas, anyone on a 4:3 or 16:10 video monitor is screwed. The video player adapts to the aspect ratio, so if you don't edit in the proper aspect ratio, it doesn't work. Plus, black bars baked into it just looks tacky. Then compression artifacts can show up in it. Plus, if you edit in the actual original aspect ratio, all of your data goes to your video footage instead of to maintaining the black bars.
What else do we have through here? We have a lot of smart home stuff. I guess I can go ahead and pull that out because I mostly opened it. I guess I can go ahead and pull that out because I mostly opened it on my own already.
That was a delay switch there.
I have a Samsung Smart Home Hub. So I've got the multi-purpose like door sensor. I've got a water leak sensor, and then I've got the actual Smart Home Hub itself here.
Nope,
which
stop.
I will be setting
Fuck.
up and
All right, this
testing
happens.
for a review for a specific app, as well as
I had hoped they'd fix this, but sometimes when I'm trying to camera switch on the multicam, it'll just start playing on its own and it won't stop playing, it won't save, it won't switch cameras, it just keeps going on its own, and sometimes it'll go the entire video and like 5 more minutes after until it finally catches up. I'd hoped they'd fix this by now. I haven't edited multicam stuff in like 6 months and they still haven't fixed this.
and I've got the
Oh, it's not letting me switch.
actual Smart Home Hub
The switching is so delayed. Sometimes it just can't handle the like
itself
video
here,
stream.
which I will be setting up and testing for.
God, this is the main reason I wanted to switch back to doing B-roll and not doing multicam, because it can't keep up with like the data stream of 5 video tracks. Nevertheless, trying to do like all 9 or something. Shit. And this is professional software. These are what the professionals doing real multicam work are supposed to use.
I will be setting up and testing for a review for a specific app, as well as the Logitech Harmony Remote. Seems pretty cool. Haven't gotten it set up yet or figured it out. And then I got one of these Life X bulbs, which I will have to figure out. They will play nicely with my Philips Hue stuff, which I need to be reviewing soon as well. But all of that is part of a smart home project that I am working on that I'm pretty excited for, but also a little intimidated by, since I've never messed with a whole lot of smart home stuff. All right, next up we have this XSEC. It's a flash card for the Game Boy Advance to play Game Boy Advance ROMs off of a micro SD card. This was essentially like my wet dream as a kid when it comes to gaming, because I, very early on, like even in middle school, maybe late elementary school, I discovered the ROM hack scene and really got into that. And I always wanted to be able to play them on my actual Game Boy instead of on an emulator. and I didn't know these existed. I just imagined something like this existing and heard of people talking about it but didn't understand the concept. So I found this one for like 40 or 50 bucks on Amazon. Kind of chintzy looking, but we are going to try it out and see if it's worth reviewing.
That was too delayed. But see, if it makes the cut here, and then I go back and try to make the cut later, it like moves it, which is cool.
Kind of chintzy looking, but we are going to try it out and see if it's worth reviewing.
That was too early, but good enough. All right, now it's frozen again, or non-responsive again. There we go. This is going to be a joy to get through. We're only 6 minutes through the 34-minute. Look at all those cuts, though. Let me zoom in. Look at them cuts. And this would be a nightmare. Like, as much as I am complaining about this, like, that would be a disaster to try to do, like, manually. Because that's what I did before. I didn't know about the whole multicam thing until basically late 2015 and then into 2016 when I really started using it. And so all of my, like, co-op gaming videos and things like that I did where I had multi-camera perspectives, I did manually. I overlaid the tracks, synced them up, aligned them manually, and then like used muted out tracks to move tracks up and down between them to sync them. And it was a nightmare and why I stopped doing co-op stuff. And this is a lifesaver for that.
Adobe Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements 15. This is the newest version that came out late last year. I want to do some tutorial videos on it and things like that and make a recommendation on it for those that don't want to pay the full price or get into Premiere Pro. So I picked up a copy of my own.
There's a cut where my G7 drops out.
To Premiere Pro. So I picked up a copy of my own so I can make some tutorials. So I picked up a copy of...
I don't think it cut quick enough.
Pro. So I picked up a copy of my...
There we go. Move the cut a little quicker so the camera drops out and you don't see it. Welcome back, Chiago.
Picked up a copy of my own so I can make some tutorials. And I also grabbed a micro SD card for the flash card. Next up here we have the Gamdius Zeus P1 RGB gaming mouse. This thing is pretty cool. It's super lightweight though. I've been using it in some of my streams and testing it out already. Review is probably actually going to be up by the time you watch this. But my first full RGB gaming mouse. Been having fun with it. What else do we have here? Okay, this one, if I can pull it out Jenga style, this is a like $40 tripod that I got sent for review from MacTrim. I didn't get sent it, I got like a discount on it. I only paid like 20 bucks for it and I wanted to do more budget gear reviews. I have some more budget gear stuff coming soon. So I wanted to go ahead and review this. And this will be a sharp contrast to something else we're going to be opening from one of these big boxes very soon.
Just through the box.
Up here at the top, I don't even know if you can see this, we have the box for the my Atomos Ninja 2. I am borrowing this from a colleague, the same guy that I borrowed the big 1970s tripod that I made a video on that I'm actually using right now to prop my camera up. This is a dedicated video recorder and monitor, but it only goes up to 1080p 30. So I did a comparison of recording at 720p 60 with it compared to 1080p 60 on an Elgato capture card. I'm finishing that up right now. It is pretty cool, but these recorders are awesome. I just wish I had a 4K one for my G7.
Gamdius. Yeah, they sent me a gaming mouse. I reached out to them a bunch in like 2015 and maybe early 2016, and they never replied, and then they offered to send out a mouse recently, so that review I'll be finishing up soon. Have you ever used the YouTube Analytics app? Is there a separate app for that? I've used the YouTube Creator Studio app on my Android, if that's what you're talking about. Which I believe that's what you're referring to, because that has all the live analytics and stuff. That's where real-time view counts were first introduced.
I'm just trying to get through all the stuff that I'm not actually unboxing here. So here we have the box for my Mackie. I'm an idiot. So here we have...
That's where I realized the shipping label was still on it in front of the camera for the entire fucking video.
I have the box for my Mackie CR3 studio monitors. You saw them in my office tour if you checked that out. My first pair of actual studio audio monitors, and I'm super stoked to finally get a review up on them. I honestly don't think I can go back to normal computer speakers. Back to normal computer speakers.
See you later, man. Thanks for hanging out with me.
I recently got sent a WD Black PCIe SSD that I'm going to be doing a sponsored video on. It's how I record some full 10-bit uncompressed video. Pretty freaking cool, really, really fast. My first M.2 SSD that I install myself. My System 76 laptop has one, and my CyberPower PC has a Intel 750 series PCIe full SSD, but this is my first self-installed M.2 SSD. Pretty cool. And then I also have the Elgato Stream Deck that, of course, I unboxed and reviewed. That if you didn't catch that, I still have the box and my old Stream Deck in here. Trying to figure out what to do with that just yet. All right, we're
about a third of the way through the video. Yamaha HS7 studio monitor. Nice. Yeah, I'm cheap. I just got these on a deal. It was supposed to be a sale for $79.99 for my Mackie CR3s, and then they ended up sticking with that as the main price for the monitors. So that was kind of a bite in the butt, but hey, I got them and I love them, so I'm really glad I bought them. That's for certain. No! There we go. It didn't start playing, so it just like switched the whole camera.
More fun stuff. Here we have the Sonos Play 1. This is a smart speaker. It is a big, giant, super powerful, super bassy, like sounds amazing wireless speaker. And I was having a blast with it. That's part of the smart home setup, but I'm going to have a dedicated review on that because it's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I wanted to just have this as an option for B-roll footage, so since you couldn't really see the box from the wide-angle view.
Then we have the box here for my DBX 286S, which was my preamp processor. Which was my preamp processor audio processing rack unit for my Audio-Technica broadcast headset that I use for my live streams now. Gonna have a full review on this up as well. My first formal review of a rack-mounted audio processing unit, so should be pretty cool. All right, here we have an Aki LED backlit 87 keys, so 10 keyless mechanical keyboard that they sent me for review that I actually haven't unboxed yet. So let's go ahead and get that open and see what we have in the box. They include a keycap puller, which is nice as always. This is going to be one of my first full budget keyboard reviews. It's like in the box you just get the keycap puller, the USB cable, manual, and the keyboard itself. Pretty hefty and sturdy feeling. Nice clicky sounding. Sort of looks like cherry stems there for the mechanical key stem. Should be a fun review. It's got some heft to it. I'm actually pretty impressed by that.
Alrighty, we are approaching the halfway point. You can see all of those infinite cuts there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and the video gets done here. I'm going to go ahead and chop those off because that's not at all part of the video and makes it look a lot scarier than it really is. Alright, then we finish with the keyboard here. We'll pick back up right here. See which camera angle I'm going to talk to.
Alright, over here we have my first shoulder. Alright, over here we have my first shoulder rig mount for a camera. I ordered this so Chu can have something easier to hold when she's holding the camera for some of my videos, as she normally just has it handheld and it gets a little shaky and puts a lot of strain on her back. So we have here.
Switch between cameras like 5 times in that like 30 seconds. Thank you for the host, bros. Thank you for the host, Broskade. Much appreciated.
I'm not gonna put it together right now if it needs put together. Actually, it may not. Okay, so this is a full shoulder mount. So this is a full shoulder mount. You can see the mounting plate for the camera, and then it just folds out here. And you have a full shoulder shooting rig for the camera, which is really slick, and I'm excited to try this out. This will be our first actual like professional recording setup.
Oh, I completely ducked to a different camera there.
Try this out. This will be our first actual like professional recording setup. See it, and you could theoretically add. It's got a tap, so you can maybe add a counterweight to it as well. Although my G7 doesn't weigh a lot, but just provides a nice sturdy platform. A lot smoother shots, and I may even use this for some B-roll shots when I want to do like specific motion that a slider or fluid head won't do, as it's going to be a lot more stable than trying to hold it handheld or with one of those mic rigs that I've had. Just a little bit better for those long-term, like the studio tour and things like that. Can even do it one-handed, and looks pretty cool. I'm excited. And this thing was only like,
Then I switched cameras.
And this thing was only like $35 too. It's not bad.
All right, save, and it's still catching up. There we go. I will now hide behind these boxes and create a fort. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do, but I really needed to get it cleaned up first. All right. What camera angle are we doing next?
All right, here we have two pairs of earbuds.
That preview died. Come on, Premiere. We're getting there. We're finishing this up. We can do this. We can do this. If Premiere can do this. There we go. That's a little bit smoother.
All right, here we have two pairs of earbuds from Roseville. Yes, Roseville, the like PC accessory maker, also has a music division, and they sent me over their EX700 and EX500 earbuds to try out for review. And Chu's going to end up with one of these after the review is done because she needs some new earbuds. But these are supposed to be super more like audiophile level for budget though. I mean, they're still budget, but they got really nice ear tips. It's got, you can't really see that with this angle, but it's got a little braided cable inside of the shielding. Got nice tips. Really high build quality too, and it comes with a nice little bag and some replacement ear tips. Pretty sweet. I'm excited to check these out. It's been a little while since I've done an earbud review, so I am excited to see what I can come up with to make that a little bit more exciting. I'm not in the same area anymore, so I can't, or you know, in the same shooting space, so I can't do the exact same format. I'm not going to open this one, but here we have a pop filter that cost me like $6. And I'm reviewing this to do a comparison to a more expensive pop filter. This one's from Newer. The other one's from Editor's Keys that I got with a mic review I did last year. And I had a lot of questions about what's the difference between a cheap and more expensive pop filter if they're still the same fly swatter design. And so I want to do a brief video showcasing the key points to that.
The key points to that.
Here we have some...
I didn't switch camera angles.
Here we have some Harman Kardon Soho headphones. Now these I picked up from Amazon maybe around Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They were originally $200 headphones, and they cost me like less than $50, I believe, when I got them on the sales. And so I wanted to do a comparison of how they sounded a couple years after their original release date when they came out as being so expensive. Now they come with this nice hard shell case here to really protect them, which is expected for headphones this expensive. Pops up. Got very thin headphone cables, but an interesting form factor. Very small headphones. Will be interesting to see if they're worth the original $200 price or even what I paid for them.
Speaking of pop filters, I remember looking for a blue pop filter and it costs a ton. Yeah, the specific ones that are like form-fitted to to fit weird specific microphones are always going to cost more. Like, hell, you want to talk about an expensive pop filter. This one for my RE20 was $60, I believe, for this tiny little thing. But it's form-fitted, designed to be the same color, shape, and everything, and the perfect distance for the RE20. So you got to do that or get a cheap $6 fly swatter one. And with this mount, I didn't want a big giant fly swatter thing there, always creaking and adding an extra arm and everything. I wanted the one that just kind of basically blocked it right at the mic.
All right, next up here we have something else I already went ahead and unboxed, and that is the EposVox Mini 360 Plus, which is another security camera. Gonna have a review and setup tutorial on that shortly.
All right, that preview frame rate, it's dead. Needs to buffer some more. The 5 camera, well, technically 4 right now because that one's not even turned on just yet. But that multicam video feed, too much to handle.
All right, next up down here.
Oh my god, I don't even know where I'm facing. Come on, Premiere. I'm doing 1/8 resolution.
All right, next up down here we have a new...
Doesn't help that I'm telling it to do upscale from 1080p to 4K for most of these clips, so...
Next up down here we have a new teleprompter, the Parrot teleprompter. This one is much smaller than the one I have been using. The one I use requires a huge rig and a lot of setup time, and this one just screws on the actual camera lens. So I am excited to give it a try. Let's go ahead and open up and show what's inside here. This thing was only 99 bucks, which was about the same price as I paid for the super cheap one I use. User's manual. Then we have the teleprompter itself right up front. So it has a nice little shield to keep dust out if you leave it setting up. That way you can just slide this off and keeps the glass from, or it might be plastic, but the glass from getting much dust on it, which can affect the image and your ability to see it. And then it has this screw mount system, and I do have some step-up rings so I can adapt it to any lens size. Should be a lot easier and make sure I'm actually always staring at the lens instead of like slightly to the right or left of it, but we'll see how easy it is to use because it won't be a manual trigger anymore. And actually they include a bunch of I got the step up and step down rings for a different reason, but it looks like...
Oh, that camera stopped recording too, so I do need to switch.
Include a bunch of I got the step up and step down rings for a different reason, but it looks like they include a full stack of them here so you can adapt it to any lens size. And then you just use their little mobile app to control the teleprompter, add the text in, and so on. So theoretically way easier setup. We'll see if that actually turns out to be true. But I felt it was time to get away from the super big teleprompter rig that I had been using.
All right, we are getting close to the end. Now we just mainly have the big boxes left. I am stoked.
All right, we're going to go ahead and tackle these big Amazon and B&H boxes that have been basically taking up the whole frame. That way we can focus on some of the more exciting stuff. I did actually just order a Manfrotto tripod legs and fluid video. That was close. I don't think any of that was on camera. Whew. That could have cut my mic cable too. Oh, I need to make sure that's still working. It's still working. Okay.
Oh, damn.
I had my big super sharp knife sitting on, apparently hanging off the edge of my table, and I elbowed it and it flipped off and hit me and then fell on the floor. Could have cut my mic cable, could have stabbed me. Don't play with big knives, kids. Just because you see it on YouTube doesn't mean it's something you should be doing. Anyway, I ordered a fluid video head and tripod legs from Manfrotto. It's more expensive than I normally spend on this stuff, but to get some more stable, nice shots for B-roll. So I am super stoked to unbox these. And then I have a new LED light kit coming as well to replace my big, bright CFL bulbs that I'm currently using that make this room super sweaty. I just showered before this video, and I may need to rinse back off once I'm done shooting. All right, it's unboxing time. Ah. All right, B&H boxes are always super easy to open because you can see the main piece of tape you need to open, and that's all that is required. Set the knife up there, try not to stab myself this time. All right, so this is the tripod legs. One giant box out of the way. So these are the tripod legs. No, this is the head, my bad. So this is the MVH 502AH, also known as the 502HD. They are the same tripod head. That confused me and stalled me for a couple days as I was trying to figure out the difference. This is the big fancy fluid tripod head. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the legs out so we can put them together and show the unboxing that way. But that is what the box.
Come on.
But that is what the box looks like. I believe this other big box here will be my tripod legs. Might be the light kit too, I'm not really certain.
The multi-camera setup really does cut time, takes up a lot of space, but that won't matter if you had a big enough storage. Yeah, like it's a lot better than like recording, you know, me talking and then doing B-roll of the boxes and then coming back and doing the opening and then doing more B-roll. Like for something quick and dirty like this where I'm just being ridiculous anyway, it saves so much time. And then like once I'm done with all these cuts, like this is all I need to do. Like, theoretically, I could just cut off the tail end and be done. Now I'm going to speed through a couple portions, cut out a couple dead air, add a little bit of B-roll of certain things that I reference. But on the whole, like, this would be the main edit, and the video is mostly done once I'm done with this phase.
What do we got in here? Actually, no, I believe this is the light kit. All right, so I'll pull this box out.
And you get to keep breaking up the shots without having to shoot like double extra B-roll because all the camera angles are firing at the same time.
And we will come back to it. Yes, that is my light kit, so we will come back to that. I have no clue where this box is supposed to go. Let's just knock it off the table, shall we? Oh, it doesn't even fall off the table. There we go. All right, so this other big box would be the tripod legs. One came from Amazon, one came from B&H, so they didn't come together. Although I may add back.
Come together right now over me.
Into the video, I did get an email notification from UPS that B&H is shipping me something else. I can't imagine.
Oh, why did I switch? Okay. Yeah, all the angles are the same, whereas with one camera setup, the angles would be inconsistent. Yeah. And so you'd see like, yeah, exactly.
Something else.
You get me.
I can't imagine what it would be, but if it's something interesting, I'll just add it into this video so that everything's together. I haven't talked to anyone about review units, and I didn't order anything else. There's nothing else in my orders. Theoretically, it could be like a warranty or something, but I didn't pay for a warranty. It's not on my order list, like with my camera. And I believe with my camera, they ship the warranty USPS, not UPS. So I don't have a clue. Okay, so yeah, these are the tripod legs. The 055 or the MT055X Pro 3 because Frodo's product names are amazing.
Whoa. Just got super choppy or something. Oh, I think I might have been holding the space button. Sometimes if my hand rests somewhere for too long, it starts like putting pressure down and I'll start hitting buttons I don't mean to press.
So these are the legs in the box. They are aluminum, I believe, not the carbon fiber ones. Yeah, aluminum, but they look like they will be what I need. So I guess we'll start assembling this process here.
Here's where I kick on camera angle 5. It was total overkill because why not?
It's time to unbox.
And it froze. Come on.
Right. And the tripod leg box should be fairly boring because it should all be put together and just be
completely out of my
tripod
control. I
legs.
can't click
We shall
anything.
see.
I couldn't hit save.
Yay, actual styrofoam, my favorite.
That's the only problem with the multicam is when it does shit like that. And it just randomly put a cut there. I did not say to cut there at all.
It's time. It's time to unbox. It's time to unbox. All right. And the tripod leg box should be fairly boring because it should all be put together and just be tripod legs. We shall see. Yay, actual styrofoam, my favorite. Yeah, there we go. Big beastly rig here. Expensive too. Thankfully I had, as a survey reward or cash back on a purchase when I ordered my camera, I had like a $30 B&H gift card in my email that I was able to use to save me a tiny bit on this. But by the way, product links will be in the description below. As always, I do have affiliate links for B&H and Amazon now. So if you are shopping for any of this, I appreciate it if you use my links. So damn, this thing is beefy. I was wondering, like, my big concern was that I already had some decent but cheap tripod legs and they were super light. So without any weighting system, I wasn't going to be able to keep it steady. But these are, like, it's not too heavy to move around, but it's hefty enough that it feels like it's going to hold things up well. Got rubber grips on two of the legs here, and then we got latch locks, big beefy locks to actually secure the leg length, which is kind of neat. And then the main mounting point up top here with a cap on it. We'll leave that on for the moment and get to the tripod head here. Now this is the 502 HD fluid video head, which again is going to make my pan and tilt shots a lot smoother. I am also looking into a slider system soon. I still have to review my super cheap like $100 slider I got a couple years back, but I am looking for an upgrade. I think I have found the one I want from Sellens. I think that's the brand. It's super obscure, but it looks to be like the Shark S1, but cheaper. So we'll see how that goes. So in the box we get the tripod head itself, which again is huge and beefy. The carrying handle, well that's not a carrying handle, it's the pan and tilt handle basically. And that looks to be all that's in the dividers in this box down here. Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. You have overlays for product link is in the description below. I need to update it. I have one specifically for B&H and one specifically for Amazon, but not like a generic one. So I will probably finally make that for this video, just edit up the After Effects file, but I do not have a generalized one at the moment.
All right. Much more excitingly packaged than any of the other video gear I've bought as well. And you get to choose here on the left or the right which side your handle gets mounted on, which is really cool. All right, so we simply take the tripod legs, screw off this little cap, and we screw on the tripod head. And then we have Manfrotto's quick release system. I may still throw an Arca Swiss plate on there. I'm running out of plates and clamps. I don't know where a lot of them went, to be honest. So I will need to order some more soon if I'm going to stick with the Arca Swiss system. Manfrotto's system, you just kind of loosen that and then it slides out, and then you have a button down here, I believe, which completely lets it free. It moves that lever. So fairly straightforward, although it's not wanting to go back in. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, the screws are like on top of each other. There we go, yeah. And then tighten this little latch on the side, and it's rock solid in place. And you have two different types of attachment screws. I guess I'll have to take one off if I don't use, since I'm not using that fat one. That way you could attach like an entire other tripod head, I guess, if you wanted. So then if we attach the arm here on the right.
What's up, Tima O'Toole? Thank you for hanging out with us. We're doing another editing stream today. This will be full 5 days a week that I will have live streamed, assuming that tomorrow's stream goes well. So pretty freaking cool. I did a 30-minute, like 100 product unboxing video that we're wrapping up the multicam cut for, and then we'll finish it up. It was a ridiculous video. And I'm glad we're going ahead and getting it done too. Easy filler content.
It's got little notches to lock it into place on the head. And this thing is rock solid. Like, I am super.
And it's got to catch up the buffer again. Actually, you mentioned how much space this takes up. Let's take a look at how all my raw footage totals up at the moment. 54 gigs. So actually less total footage than my Logitech G413 video review with B-roll and everything. That had like 24 gigs of B-roll and like 50 gigs of game footage and stuff, so not too bad. Although I guess if you don't count the game footage, it's bigger, but...
Like, I am super impressed. And if I loosen up the fluid system on the left here...
Oh yeah, I screwed this up.
Oh, that's interesting. Right,
I didn't know how to use it, so
right.
I was kind of screwing it up for a minute.
This knob is super tight. Oh, there we go. I don't know. It's going to take some reading. All right, I figured out how to lock it into place. Like, even more so. Oh, that's... Oh. That is loosening it off of the tripod itself. I don't want that. I want...
That squeak, though.
It's squeaky, too. I'm going to have to figure out... I'm going to have to look at the manuals so I don't break it. I don't... Last thing I want to do is, like, screw this up. Oh, there's a freaking lever. Ooh, that is smooth. Once you figure out what the hell you're doing. Yep, there's a lock here, too. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. All right, so these knobs on the side tighten or loosen the system, the, like, tension. So that's super loose, so I'd want it a little bit tighter. So lock it up here. Ooh, that is super smooth. And then same thing with left to right. You can tighten that system. This thing is going to be amazing. So I'm going to lock everything back into place here, and now it's rock solid as a tripod. Pretty beefy rig. I am so freaking stoked. This is going to make my B-roll production so much better. Really worthwhile investment.
Multi-camera editing looks so great, just switching to whatever viewpoint. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know if Vegas has a multicam system. I would assume, since they're trying to be a professional software, that they have a system, but like I try not to be too biased, especially since I used Vegas for a few years, but I can't imagine the multicam editing experience in Vegas is actually any good, just because their actual source monitor, their trimmer tool, is trash. Like, it is the worst experience I've ever had with a video editor, especially one that costs that much. Like, trying to go through and trim out clips, it's trash. So applying that to multiple camera angles at a time, I just can't imagine they pulled it off.
Investment IMO. All right, we have a couple things left here to unbox.
Oh, I didn't switch camera angles. Damn it!
We have this, which is
There we go. Yeah, no, I didn't tell it to cut all the way over there. I told it to cut way back here.
All right, we have a couple things left here to unbox. We have this, which is it's supposed to be like a karaoke microphone system. It's a wireless microphone system from...
Oh yeah, this is going to be where the main A-cam... I don't use trimmer at all, I find it useless. Yeah, it's super useful if you're doing this kind of production in Premiere when it actually works, but it doesn't work in Vegas. Like, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, this is where my main cam runs out, so I got to be careful to watch out for that.
There was another company that actually sent me it, but it's an Amazon listing. Just a basic wireless mic system, handheld mics. The reason I was interested in this might be a good, like, convention or show wireless system for me. Basic handheld mic, and then I can have a mic for people to talk and things like that. Get myself one of those little square cards that go around it to say, like, who I am and stuff. Might be kind of cool. I don't really know. I've had this for a couple months and haven't actually gotten to take a look at it yet. I also have a wireless lav mic system from Saramonic that I've used in a couple videos, but haven't reviewed yet. So that is on the list. And then this mic system connects via this hub here. So you've got right and left in and out via 3.5 millimeter, right and left out via 1/4 inch power button, and then control knobs for the volume and echo, and another mic input. I was under the impression these were wireless. Yes, they are wireless. They take, it looks like AA batteries or something.
Not sure if anything can really counter Adobe Suite. Yeah. Although, I mean, Sony, keep in mind, Vegas is its own property. It was originally developed by a completely, like, SoundForge, I think, a completely different company. And then Sony bought it and maintained it for a while. And now it's maintained by Vegas. Sony and Vegas have no, or it's maintained by Magix. Sony and Vegas Pro have nothing to do with each other. It's its own property software package that is maintained by multiple different companies, and currently it's with Magix. Sony itself is actually creating, I forgot what it was called. It was like called Catalyst Suite, their own video production program called Catalyst now. I honestly don't know if it'll be any good or if anyone should use it. I'm hoping they learned from the piracy issues of Vegas to not use that same sort of authentication thing, but eh.
So I guess those extra inputs just give you the option to, wow, I can't get that screwed back in now. There we go. I guess those extra inputs are just extra inputs, which is kind of neat.
All right, preview laggy again. Gotta let it buffer.
Yeah, you have multiple volume. Yeah, you have multiple.
Come on, preview. You can do it. Buffer for, there we go.
Yeah, you have multiple volume control.
It didn't switch.
And then you just run the output to your audio.
Oh my god. Complete media pinning across the whole thing.
Control,
oh my god.
And then you just run the output.
We're almost done.
your
Just let me
audio
finish.
recorder.
Premiere, please. Premiere Plus.
Yeah, you have multiple volume control. And then you just run the output to your audio recorder or what have you. Probably won't sound great, to be honest, like none of these cheaper solutions that I get ever do, but should be a decent for.
Yeah, I use Lightworks like once to try it out. It's supposedly it looks and feels a lot like Premiere, but I don't know. It obviously won't perform that well, so.
Great, to be honest, like none of these cheaper solutions that I get ever do, but should be a decent for a decent cheap solution regardless.
All right, I need to go into the G7 audio sequence here and marker out where the camera runs out. So I know when I need to absolutely not be on that scene anymore. Right there. Okay, now when I come back out here. Oh, I've already... Alright, so it's out here. So I can actually marker this here as well. So I have this much room to play with, still showing the G7.
Cheap solution regardless.
Oh, it cut out way sooner. Wow, okay.
Cheap solution regardless.
And it's gone. I got no more A-cam. I only have these angles left to work with, and this one's going to cut out for a couple minutes in a minute, too.
I did also want to mention that I am... what normally sits on this desk at the moment is a sit-stand desk from...
I'm going to have to overlay with that with, like, my Instagram screenshots and stuff, too, because obviously I'm talking at the camera, and the camera is gone.
I believe. It's super huge and heavy, and it was the worst unboxing I ever tried to do. But I am working on a project for, like, my little minimalist script writing sit-stand desk setup that's normally here. But I had to tear that all down in order to fit all these boxes and do this unboxing. All right, here we have the Cloud Revolver S from HyperX from Kingston. I've reviewed one of their headsets, the Cloud 2s, before. Still one of my favorite wired gaming headsets, especially for USB adapters. Still recommend it to so many people, and Shu actually uses it daily for her Overwatch games. But this is their new Revolver S headset. As usual, the unboxing experience from HyperX is amazing. Get nice little congratulations on joining the club thing, nice logo branding, very nice fit here. The cool part though is whereas the Cloud 2 was a solid band style, this is a suspension style, which I prefer. So this might actually be a lot more comfortable for me, even though the original Cloud 2s were still pretty damn comfortable for a solid band. So that is why I'm excited for these. I'm a little behind on that review, mainly like I just hadn't been in contact with my Kingston contact for a while and hadn't been able to request it basically, but they sent these over. So despite the fact that I'm late to the game on reviewing them, I am still super excited for them because they fit essentially my requirements for a headset that I would actually use on the regular. I can't get that back together. Not a big deal. I don't know where to set it. I don't know where to set it. All right, we have a couple more things here before we get to the light kit. Here is, this little box is a capture card from DataPath. I'm not gonna touch the PCB right now or whatever, but it's the same company that sent me the 4K 60 capture card. They have a new one that has two inputs. One does 1080p 60, the other does 4K 30. Super stoked to be reviewing that. I've actually got to finish it up very shortly and send back to them. It was just a loaner unit, but I am working on my review of that now, and this is another exciting one. This is another Electro Voice microphone. So I use the RE20 and 320 pretty much daily now, and this is another one in that same line, the RE27ND, and it's got like a nice chrome finish here. It is pretty slick, and I am excited to be reviewing it. I don't know if I get to keep this one or not. I don't really need it, but I will happily always add a new microphone to my collection for future comparisons and such. But again, I was sent that a couple months ago, and I haven't had a chance to touch it yet either, because mic review setups are very complicated. So that is the main part of my unboxing. We do have the $100, $130 LED light kit here that I got as well. This is what BBK Dragoon got for when he does streams and does some video. He got this for himself. We worked through some examples, and that's what we decided on for him. And then once seeing that he actually liked it and such, decided to pick it up for myself, so I stopped using these damn CFL bulbs because they're making me really hot. So this is a full kit. It's not just a single light or anything like that. This is a full kit. So in it, you get...
What's up, Gary Cubed Gaming? We are almost done with the main multicam view that we've been editing here. You can see, if I use my zoom in tool, all of those crazy edits. Look at all of those cuts. It saves so much time. Like, making those cuts manually would have been a nightmare. This is my big 30-minute unboxing.
You get two newer CN160 LED.
Thank you for the follow, Jesse.exe. Thank you so much. We are currently... The bulbs are making you hot. We are currently doing an editing stream, which I sometimes do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but my main game streaming happens Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So hope to see you in future streams. Thank you so much for the follow.
LED panels, so 160 LEDs, and you just, like, if you order these on their own, this is basically what you would get, but you get these in the kit because it's a 2-light system. You get a battery charger for the batteries that come in it, which are the Sony F style batteries. You get 2 of those Sony F style batteries. These are the 2600 milliamp F550s.
It's frozen again.
I've got a
God
couple
dang it.
bigger ones actually in my LED panels here that should be the
third
exact same
G633 has arrived. Congrats! All right, now I got to undo the cut that it's inevitably going to make in the wrong spot since it froze. Or it didn't freeze. Clearly it didn't freeze. It became unresponsive to my clicks.
Those Sony F style batteries. These are the 2600 milliamp F550s. I've got a couple bigger ones actually in my LED panels here that should be the exact same mount, and I should be able to swap them in their place. Or just use these when I need to. BBK said the batteries last around 2 to 3 hours, maybe a little less, but perfectly fine for my A-roll shoots. And then these are the soft boxes.
Hopefully your third headset doesn't break like the first 2.
So these attach to the front of the LED panels, and basically act as my big soft boxes that I have, you can see right there, but for these small LED panels. Take up a lot less space, and since they're LED, will generate a lot less heat. I've already talked about in a couple videos my progress towards moving to LEDs, and this should hopefully be the final thing. And so, just tiny little softbox that sits on the front. In theory, I could have just ordered these and used the LED panels I have now, but I wanted to get the full kit so I could review it, and it's also going to be part of a $200 YouTuber kit video that I do in the future. So 2 softboxes, and then you have a bag with the light stands, which honestly, I'm not, actually, this is just 2 bags. The light stands themselves are down here. But I'm honestly not going to open those right now. Just a big mess that we don't need. Did my camera die? I don't know. I think my main A-cam...
Oh, and I didn't mention, you can make your own manual cuts still with the razor tool and then switch the camera angle that cut is on if you really need to correct a mistake like I did there.
I think my main A-cam may have died. But that is the unboxings I wanted to share with you guys. So many projects I'm working on right now. Super stoked to share it with you guys. Just wanted to make this video to show them off. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you did. Let me know if you want to see more craziness like this. I usually don't get this many products in at the same time to show off, but like I said, I'm taking on a ton of projects, having a lot of fun, and gonna make some really good content coming soon. So now I gotta clean up the disaster studio because it's a complete mess now, but hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. I think I already said that. Subscribe for more awesome tech videos and videos on everything you saw here today, and I will see you next time.
And we are done with the multicam cuts. That was an hour and a half-ish. Keep in mind all the freezes and stuff. It's a little tedious to set up, but this is all of the multicam, and now the main video is mostly done. Like, I can add in an ad spot, some overlays, and a couple pieces of B-roll that I want to use. But this is the main work that goes in when you do multicam. Pretty freaking cool. So now I'm going to make a new sequence. Most ridiculous unboxing ever. And I just drag my multicam sequence into that one, render out the audio, and we're ready to start trimming and polishing it off. Much better than trying to shoot B-roll every 5 minutes while doing a live unboxing. That would have been a nightmare. A literal nightmare. Speaking of, I saw your Amazon social influencer video published today. Watched that a few days ago. Early access hype. All right, while that's rendering, I'm just responding to some comments here. This is usually what I do during my downtime. Thanks so much. And what I've actually started doing is a couple of the people who comment on like my YouTube tips videos and stuff being like, oh, my channel isn't going anywhere. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, yada yada. Is I go check out their channel, then I'll pull up OBS real quick, do a quick screen recording for like 5 minutes talking about, you know, what they need and all that. And then send it to them in the comment just to kind of help. Okay. What version of Elgato software is that? Look at the video upload date. A version from back then. LOL. And then I can pull up a playlist, find my newer videos that I did on the software, and say you can reference my newer videos here. Nope, what happened? Now, a permanent feature of the software, you can learn more about it in my newer updated tutorials. You've been crushing it, man, watching you since you helped out OBS like 2 years ago. Thanks so much for your support. Do 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 do. Thank you for following Sergeant Ev McKay. We are doing an editing stream right now. I'm waiting on Premiere to finish. It looks like it's done processing the audio. I usually do game streaming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but I'm doing a little extra editing stream right now. Thank you for following. Hope to see you in future streams. Thank you for hanging out with us. We are making our way to 1K followers. Hype! Super stoked. Super grateful. All right. We're going to turn off the multicam view now, and now we just have a singular view, although I don't think the video starts right here yet.
Hey guys, this is Epos.
I need like a cutout of Austin's head so I can reference Austin there. Hey guys, this is Austin.
Hey guys, this is Epos. This is probably by far...
Actually, and then I can do... I'm going to do a quick motion in.
Epos. This is probably...
All right, how does that look? I'll apply motion blur to it too, of course.
This is Epos. This is probably by far the most insane unboxing I've ever done, or at least attempted. Who knows if this will happen on the channel. I don't always...
There we go. And then I can go ahead and pop that into After Effects for the motion blur, so that way I can get that set up, since I haven't opened that up just yet. It's cookie-based. Cookie tracks for 24 hours. Does pay for whole cart once affiliate link is used, but don't know if you store... If it stores affiliate data past 24 hours if you leave affiliate item in cart. People often replace their Amazon bookmark with the affiliate one to support creators. All right, back to editing. Oh, After Effects has not loaded yet. All right. Takes a minute for it to move all the footage over, especially since it's a multicam. I don't know how it will handle that. I've never tried to do motion blur through After Effects on the multicam sequence. It's only one angle for that, so it's not like it's switching angles, but it is, like the actual sequence itself that I'm applying it to is a multicam sequence. Actually, I need to undo that anyway. I should totally probably wait until I do all my color grading and stuff before I bring it into After Effects, just in case it somehow like doesn't, you know, catch on over. So I'll go ahead and save this, but undo the import in Premiere just to be safe. And then I'll apply all the After Effects linkings later. Okay, look how many clips it has to bring in. Oh, that's mostly behind my face, but you can see a lot of it. That's insane. I'll go ahead and apply the motion blur now. Actually, it doesn't look like... Yeah, it's zooming in on the wrong camera angle, so that's not going to work. All right, so I'm just not... Yeah, it totally brought in the wrong angle, so we're not even going to do motion blur anyway then.
Who knows if this will happen on the channel. I don't always do unboxings, but when I do, I go a little bit crazy. So just to get any sort of misleading claims out of the way, not all of these are going to be unboxed today, and some of these are big shipping boxes for other things that I will be getting, or that I will be opening specifically. Some of these are already open. This is more of a channel update kind of video where I'm showing you the projects that I'm working on. I just wanted to have a little bit more fun with it and actually appeal to those who just want to look at the tech stuff and not listen to the meta back-end discussion. So we have a lot of boxes here that
I want to cut out all the awkward transitions and speed up some of the actual unboxing parts where I'm not talking. BRB replacing headset.
Discussion. So we have a lot of boxes here that I need to unbox, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to start with the easier things to pull off of this giant mess and go from deeper from there. So starting all the way up top here, we have mostly...
Well, it's not a 24-hour unboxing. It is a 30-minute unboxing. But yes, all of this stuff that I haven't talked about in a video yet. I did a giant either walkthrough or unboxing, depending on the product, because a lot of those, like the mouse and the speakers and stuff, were already unboxed. But I did stock everything I've received recently but haven't gotten to talk about on the channel yet onto the table, and did a massive 30-minute unboxing here that I set up 5 different camera angles for, and I'm finishing up the edit of now. Mainly, I started out because I was going to just do an unboxing of my new tripod legs and fluid head, and then I was like, well, I have all this other stuff I haven't talked about before too, so I threw it all on the table, and then the studio was a disaster when I was done, but I think the end video will be pretty cool. You need 72 hours in a 24-hour day and do it live. Lol.
From there. So starting all the way up top here, we have mostly a couple keyboard boxes. So this is the Epic Gear Defiant, which I will hopefully be reviewing at some point. I honestly hate the keyboard. It's been my least favorite keyboard, and it may be my most negative review, so I've been really putting off the review. But I did get this in for review back in October when I moved into this apartment, and I'm only just really getting to it. And like I said, I hate it. It feels kind of bad.
And then again, I just want to cut out the awkward transition parts. I don't
Next
care if
up,
there's
we
jump
have
cuts, really.
The Logitech G413 Silver and the G810 Orion Spectrum, both of which reviews will be live by the time you see this video. 2 keyboards from Logitech. Been having a blast reviewing them, and the G810 was my favorite. I call it my favorite gaming keyboard, but then the G413 ended up being my favorite keyboard overall that I've used. Slightly in competition with the WASD keyboards I've been reviewing, so pretty crazy. What else do we have through here?
So for my camera angles, I used my smartphone in selfie mode. So since all the boxes were in front of my A cam, I used my cell phone in selfie mode mounted on a light stand so I could talk to it. I had my T3i kind of off behind me, pointed at the table of boxes. I had my main G7 pointed in front at the table of boxes. I had a camcorder mounted above the table pointed down, and then I had a point and shoot camera mounted on the table pointed at the boxes as well. So 5 different camera angles, different resolutions, frame rates, everything. So rendering it is going to take a hella long time.
What else do we have through here?
Oh yeah, and my A cam is totally overexposed and just blasted out, and nothing I can really do about that now. I will do some color work on it, make it look a little bit better, but that is pure white. Like, there is no fixing that, unfortunately. And I had a couple shipping labels left on the boxes because I screwed up. Because again, originally I was just going to review or unbox the tripod legs and tripod head that I got, and then I threw everything else on here, and then this box and then the box back here both had shipping labels on them that I accidentally I threw them on last minute and didn't realize the shipping labels were there, so I had to cover those up.
Smart home stuff. I guess I can go ahead and pull that out because I mostly opened it on my own already. So I have a Samsung Smart Home Hub. So I've got the multi-purpose like door sensor. I've got a water leak sensor, and then I've got the actual Smart Home Hub itself here, which I will be setting up and testing for a review for a specific app, as well as the Logitech Harmony remote. Seems pretty cool. Haven't gotten it set up yet or figured it out. And then I got one of these LifeX bulbs, which I will have to figure out. They will play nicely with my Philips Hue stuff, which I need to be reviewing soon as well. But all that is part of a smart home project that I am working on that I'm pretty excited for, but also a little intimidated by, since I've never messed with a whole lot of smart home stuff. All right, next up we have this exec. Messed with a whole lot of smart home stuff. All right, next up we have this.
Whoa! Oh man, this happens sometimes. It like screws up where the camera angle is, because that was my top cam view. And like if we jump back into the sequence where this is, that camera view is there. But Premiere doesn't want to show it now. Oh, hey, it's back. It doesn't like doing much editing on top of the multicam. Like theoretically, I guess I should have edited or like rendered this out as a clip and then edited from there, but I like doing all of my editing at once, just nested.
All right, next up we have this exec.
Postal services should just know where a package goes. Okay. I can barely trust them when there is shipping labels.
It's a flash card for the Game Boy Advance to play Game Boy Advance ROMs off of a micro SD card. This was essentially like my wet dream as a kid when it comes to gaming, because I, very early on, like even in middle school, maybe late elementary school, I discovered the ROM hack scene and really got into that. And I always wanted to be able to play them on my actual Game Boy instead of on an emulator. And I didn't know these existed. I just imagined something like this existed and heard of people talking about it, but didn't understand the concept. So I found this one for like 40 or 50 bucks on Amazon. Kind of chintzy looking, but we are going to try it out and see if it's worth reviewing. Adobe Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements 15. This is the newest version that came out late last year. I want to do some tutorial videos on it and things like that and make a recommendation on it for those that don't want to pay the full price or get into Premiere Pro. So I picked up a copy of my own so I can make some tutorials. And I also grabbed a micro SD card for the flash card. Next up here we have the Gambius Zeus P1 RGB gaming mouse. This thing is pretty cool. It's super lightweight though. I've been using it in some of my streams and testing it out already. Review is probably actually going to be up by the time I watch this. But my first full RGB gaming mouse. Been having fun with it. What else do we have here? Okay, this one.
This will slim off a lot of time off the video too. Not a lot, like a couple minutes, but a couple minutes is a lot when you're watching a slow video. I order so much stuff by myself. The UPS, FedEx, and USPS guys have all laughed and stated they know just where it goes. My normal mail delivery guy generally knows who I am just because I get way more packages than anyone else, but...
What else do we have here? Okay, this one, if I can pull it out Jenga style, this is a like $40 tripod that I got sent for review from Mac Trim. I didn't get sent it, I got like a discount on it. I only paid like 20 bucks for it, and I wanted to do more budget gear reviews. I have some more budget gear stuff coming soon, so I wanted to go ahead and review this. And this will be a sharp contrast to something else we're going to be opening from one of these big boxes very soon. Up here at the top, I don't even...
All right, this is where I'm going to use a J cut or L cut. I don't ever remember which one's which, to be honest, and it doesn't honestly matter. But I'm going to use a sub cut where I still have the other footage showing while the new audio starts talking.
This very soon. Up here at the top, I don't even know if you can...
Now it doesn't think there's any clip selected. Come back, figure out what it is. There it is. Load it back into RAM, basically. Actually, I am curious how much memory I'm using right now, since I am doing crazy multicam stuff on top of streaming. It's probably not as much. 56%, that's not too bad. It's kind of divided out. Sometimes it gets like, sometimes I have done multicam sequences where I have filled up my RAM.
See this? We have the box for my Atomos Ninja 2. I am borrowing this from a colleague, the same guy that I borrowed the big 1970s tripod that I made a video on that I'm actually using right now to prop my camera up. This is a dedicated video recorder and monitor, but it only goes up to 1080p 30. So I did a comparison of recording at 720p 60 with it compared to 1080p 60 on an Elgato capture card. I'm finishing that up right now. Recorders are awesome. I just wish I had a 4K one for my G7. I'm just trying to get through all the stuff that I'm not actually unboxing here. So here we have the box for my Mackie.
All right, here I've got to drag back on my blur. So basically put that in place, apply the crop, and crop off that bottom portion again. Yep. And then I basically need to move it with, that's a J cut. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I never really take the time to remember which is which because it honestly doesn't matter. No one's going to quiz me on which cut is which. And then basically I just need to animate this with the box. And again, it's completely overexposed and no one's going to be able to see it anyway or like dox me from it, but I gotta make sure. I'm pretty paranoid about that stuff. And this is going to look really stupid, but better safe than sorry. And then I can cut it out right there. And then throw that into After Effects with some motion blur. Should work out. Again, it'll look stupid no matter what, but better than nothing. Unboxing the feature film. Coming to your YouTube subscription feed next week.
So here we have the box for my Mackie.
And actually, I can do a full cut here.
I'm an idiot. So here we have the box.
The I'm an idiot's when I realized the label was there in the first place.
So here we have the box for my...
Oh, wait a minute. I can just cut out that entirely. Quick. The only consequence is instant game over.
So here we have the box for my...
Oh, yeah. So I didn't need to do any of that animating. I can actually cut all of that out. Oh, God. What did I just do? Okay. I just zoomed out. No big deal. Okay.
Actually unboxing here. So here we have the box for my Mackie CR3 studio monitors. You saw them in my office tour if you check that out. My first pair of actual studio audio monitors, and I'm super stoked to finally get a review up on them. I honestly don't think I can go back to normal computer speakers.
Another J cut here.
Speakers. I recently got sent a WD Black PCIe SSD that I'm going to be doing a sponsored video on. It's how I record some full 10-bit uncompressed video. Pretty freaking cool, really, really fast. My first M.2 SSD that I installed myself. My System 76 laptop has one, and my CyberPower PC has a Intel 750 series PCIe full SSD. But this is my first self-installed M.2 SSD. Pretty cool. And then I also have the Elgato Stream Deck that, of course, I unboxed and reviewed. That if you didn't catch that, I still have the box in my old Stream Deck in here. Trying to figure out what to do with that just yet. All right, we are getting to some more fun stuff here. That just yet. All right, we are getting to some more fun stuff. Here we have the Sonos Play 1. This is a smart speaker.
Actually, this is where I wanted to overlay some of that extra like B-roll-y footage that I recorded in the middle of the session. Yeah, all right, there. Unlink audio and video, trash the audio, and just bring on the video as like B-roll. Basically, I can do a little light leak transition. I just realized you're unboxing boxes and unboxing those boxes for an unboxing video about unboxing things for my unboxing channel. No. It's like in my G413 review where I was like, so that way gamers can feel like their gamer keyboard is doing gamery enough games while they game as a gamer.
This is a smart speaker. It is a big, giant, super powerful, super bassy, like sounds amazing wireless speaker. Sounds amazing wireless speaker, and I was having a blast with it. That's part of the smart home setup. I'm gonna have a dedicated review on that because it's so freaking cool. Then we have the box here for my DBX286.
Oh, I need to animate that too. Okay, that I do need to animate. So, crop, top crop, bam, bam, and zoom in. Right there. Position scale.
Box here for my DB
And then at that point, I can cut away. All right, back to After Effects. That's the one I do need to keep. Just to be safe. Again, it's mostly blown out solid white, but just to be safe. It's obvious too, but gotta be careful.
Then we have the box here for my DBX286S, which was my preamp processor, audio processing rack unit for my Audio-Technica broadcast headset that I use for my live streams now. Gonna have a full review on this up as well. My first formal review of a rack-mounted audio processing unit, so should be pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, here we have an Aki LED backlit 87 keys, so 10 keyless mechanical keyboard that they sent me for review that I actually haven't unboxed yet. So let's go ahead and get that open. Let's see what we have in the box. They include a keycap puller, which is nice as always. This is going to be one of my first full budget keyboard reviews. Like in the box, you just get the keycap puller, the USB cable, manual, and the keyboard itself. Pretty hefty and sturdy feeling. Nice, clicky sounding. Sort of looks like cherry stems there for the mechanical key stem. Should be a fun review. It's got some heft to it. I'm actually pretty impressed by that.
Okay. There's actually a lot of gaps here that I'm cutting out, so maybe it's more than a couple minutes worth. We'll see. Clicky clacky. What's up, BBK? What's up? If you're still watching, by the way, I wanted to show you. These are all of the cuts made by my multicam edit of this 30-minute unboxing video with 5 different camera angles. Holy crap, man. Look at all those cuts. This is the magic of multicam editing to save you hours upon hours of time. What's up, Tech Soup? You're here as well. Hey. Thank you for hanging out with me. All right.
All right, over here we have my first shoulder rig mount for a camera. I ordered this so Chu can have something easier to hold when she's holding the camera for some of my videos, as she normally just has it handheld and it gets a little shaky and puts a lot of strain on her back. So,
oh yeah, and then I climb up here.
So we have here, I'm not gonna.
No, I didn't do all those cuts. Yeah, so I made, I'll run through here real quick. I made individual sequences for each camera, syncing up each of the cuts, because the cameras all start and stop recording at various points with the audio, and muted out the extra audio track. And so there's like 2 or 3 cuts per camera depending on the camera angles. And like my G7 had a bunch here. So I made those in separate sequences, and then I made a stack sequence, which stacks all of them on top of each other. If I can get it to load here. Premiere's acting up. I have built and unboxed enough electronic equipment to indeed verify there is no tree huggers in the electronics industry. A box in, a box in, boxes and boxes. Yeah. All right. So then I made a stack sequence where I lined up all the audio tracks with markers. So lined up all the audio and just muted out all but the main track. So I stacked them on top of each other, then nested that into a multicam sequence, which then I have the multicam view. And then as I play them back, I have all of the 5 camera angles here, and I just, as it's playing, I click which one I want to switch to, like a live production switcher. No, OBS didn't crash. Oh, my webcam's like all stretched out now. What happened to my webcam? When did that happen? What? Oh. I'm so confused. It's not stretched out anymore. What happened? That was weird. It was like my... I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe OBS became unresponsive. It looks like everything's fine. But yeah, so then it's like a live production switcher, and so as the videos play back, I just switch between clips, and then it makes the individual cuts on its own, and so you can see each clip, camcorder audio, G7 audio, and so on. It's super laggy as hell, and sometimes it'll just stop responding to clicks and just like play through nonstop until it finally decides to stop, and then you have to go back and fix it. But it's a lot easier than trying to line it up and, you know, switch between camera angles nonstop. And that's specifically why I stopped doing the co-op videos with Chew, is because I was manually dragging like tracks on top of each other and, you know, muting out one at a time and stuff. And it was so tedious, whereas that was a lot simpler. That's how I did a lot of my multicam videos back in 2016 before I switched back to doing B-roll. Or maybe Evos added black bars to his webcam.
Back. So we have here, I'm not going to put it together right now if it needs put together. Actually, it may not. Okay, so this is a full shoulder mount. You can see the mounting plate for the camera, and then it just folds.
I still had multicam view enabled, my bad.
Folds out here.
And then I can just kind of speed this up, mute out the audio, and time interpolation, frame blending.
And you have a full shoulder shooting rig.
And so my 5 different camera angles were the selfie cam on my smartphone mounted on a light stand pointed at me. Since my A cam here, as you can see, is totally, you know, blocked off by all the boxes I had on the table. So I had my selfie cam mounted on a light stand pointed at me so I could talk to it. I had my T3i behind me. I had a point and shoot camera mounted on the table pointing forward at the boxes. I had my A cam mounted in front of the table pointing at the boxes, and then a cam corner mounted above the table pointing down. So I had all those different angles to choose from.
The camera, which is really slick, and I'm excited to try this out. This will be our first actual like professional recording setup. See it, and you can.
I don't know why the audio's popping all of a sudden. I think it's not liking all of the edits I'm doing at once.
It's got a tap, so you can maybe add a counterweight to it as well. Although my G7.
All right, I'm going to close Photoshop for right now. I'm trying to clear up some RAM. I'm going to close VLC. I'm going to close Audition. Try to clean up the extra memory usage here since the audio's crackling. What's up, Simcato? Welcome to the editing stream. We were doing a multicam edit, although I finished most of the multicam part, for a 30-minute unboxing of like 100 things I just shot earlier today.
Well, although my G7 doesn't weigh a lot, but just provides a nice sturdy platform. A lot through the shots. And I may even use this for some B-roll shots when I want to do like specific motion that a slider or fluid head won't do.
Actually, I can kick that down to 1/8, and that should...
A lot more stable.
It's still crackling. It's still... Something's using up a lot of process. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, well.
Trying to hold it handheld or with one of those mic rigs that I've had. Just a little bit better for those long-term, like a studio tour or things like that. Can't even do it one-handed. And looks pretty cool. I'm excited. And this thing was only like, $35 too.
All right.
Looks pretty cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. I'm afraid to close and reopen Premiere because that might make it not, like, lose all the buffer of the footage and lag out a bit. Let's close After Effects too. We're not using that anymore. Just clear that up a little bit. It's not like I'm using a lot of CPU power. According to OBS, it's only at 20%, and it's maintaining the full frame rate, so it's just Premiere not liking the 5 different camera angles. Try closing OBS. Yeah, let me do that. Have you tried Alt F4?
I'm excited. And this thing was only like $35 too. It's not bad. All right, here we have 2 pairs of earbuds from Roseville. Yes, Roseville, the like PC accessory maker, also has a music division, and they sent me over their EX700 and EX500 earbuds to try out for review. And she was going to end up with one of these after the review is done because she needs some new earbuds. But these are supposed to be super more like audiophile level 4 budget though. I mean, they're still budget, but they got really nice ear tips. It's got, you can.
All right, it's still popping. I want to try restarting Premiere here real quick. So I'll switch to webcam view. Hope everyone is having a great week. I can't believe it's already Thursday. Like, this week has gone really fast for me, despite the fact that I have like a ton of stuff going on. I have a big meeting call tomorrow too, which I'm excited for. But hope your week is going well. Premiere is not even closing now. That's cool. Streaming's been going great. Oh, Premiere has crashed. That's not good. Thankfully I saved, so we should be good on that front. But we're approaching 1K subscribers up on the Twitch machine. YouTube's doing really, really well. Just put up a video today talking about the new Amazon Influencers program, which I am not a part of, but I did some research on and have some weird, probably, opinions on. See if anyone left some nice little comments here. Trying to get Premiere back up and running. Wow, we have a lot of new comments. Okay, so things are going smoothly. Let's get Premiere back up and running. Close out of the Elgato software. Close out of Taskman for now. Anything else running? We can close BattleNet. We can close Steam. All right. See if it wants to work for us. You're having an okay week, Gary Cubed. You come up with a new name yet? Gotta come up with a new name. If not, I'm just gonna call you Gary Sphere to Gaming. Oh, thank you for the bits. Premiere! 10 bits. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. 10 bits towards fixing Premiere. I need to give the Adobe team the bits. All right, now we gotta wait for it to conform everything, but hopefully the audio will be a little bit better here. We're making our way through the video. We're mostly there. And I mean, like I said before, when you do the multicam cut, the main cutting process is like the bulk of the edit. Then all you have to do is polish it up, add any overlays or whatever, and you're good to go. I do probably have to run an audio render as well. And hopefully it plays back smoothly this time. We shall see. Let's take a look at our recent YouTube comments and respond to a couple here. Is it possible to make a list on Amazon, then make an affiliate link to it and get commissions off of that? Yes, that is the purpose of the social media influencers program, so you can do it that way. But B, literally just make a wish list, then use the affiliate site Stripe link generator at the top and link to the wish list directly via that with the amzn.to link. Not lonk link. But no, I've been trying to think of something and I'm just having an issue coming up with anything that makes sense and isn't taken. Yeah, that's always the issue. That is always the issue. Someone bought the Audio Technica microphone today. You are making a difference and impacting people. Wow. Thanks for the kind words. All right. Nope, still running the audio previews. Ugh. So once here we go. Once I finish this unboxing video, I do have a mouse review I need to edit. And then we have a full loaded few weeks. Like, we had at least 6 videos last week. We're going to have 6 videos this week. We're going to have at least 5 videos next week. Things, like, the schedule is packed. So if you haven't seen a video every day from me, go back and check the channel page because there's probably one that you missed because I've been posting literally like every day now. We got content coming out the wazoo. And obviously with all these things I'm unboxing, even more content.
Tips. It's got, you can't really see that with this angle, but it's got a little braided cable
hey,
inside of the cable.
The pops are gone.
Shielding. Got nice tips. Really high build quality too. And it comes with a nice little bag and some replacement ear tips. pretty sweet. I'm excited to check these out. It's been a little while since I've done an earbud review, so I am excited to see what I can come up with to make that a little bit more exciting. I'm not in the same...
Oh yeah, and BBK, if you're still watching, by doing the multicam sequences nested like this, I can then go back to each individual sequence and do color adjustments and things like that, and have it just update throughout the nesting without having to apply like a universal color grade to all the different looking cameras. It's way
the
cool.
Same shooting space, so I can't do the exact same format. I'm not going to open this one, but here we have a pop filter that cost me like $6. And I'm reviewing this to do a comparison to a more expensive pop filter. This one's from newer, the other one's from Editor's Keys that I got with the micro review I did last year. And I had a lot of questions about what's the difference between a cheap and more expensive pop filter, if they're still the same fly swatter design. And so I'm going to do a brief video showcasing the key points to that.
Hashtag commented.
Points to that. Harman Kardon Soho.
Oh, I cut off the first word to that apparently.
Here we have some Harman Kardon Soho headphones. Now these I picked up from Amazon maybe around Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They were originally $200 headphones, and they cost me like less than 50 bucks, I believe, when I got them on the sales. And so I wanted to do a comparison of how they sounded a couple years after their original release date when they came out as being so expensive. Now they come with this nice hard shell case here to really protect them, which is expected for headphones this expensive. Pops up. Got very thin headphone cables, but an interesting form factor. Very small headphones. Will be interesting to see if they're worth the original $200 price or even what I paid for them. I paid for them. All right, next up here we have something else I already went ahead and unboxed, and that is the EasyViz Mini 360 Plus, which is another security camera. Gonna have a review and setup tutorial on that shortly. All right, next up down here we have...
I would honestly recommend making a name that's based off of a specific company or game. I always recommend against that because then you are locked into that. Especially if you make it more serious of a pun or a parody of a name, then you are expected to only post that, and then you're kind of screwed in the future if you want to branch out.
Have a new teleprompter, the Parrot teleprompter. This one is much smaller than the one I have been using. The one I use requires a huge rig and a lot of setup time, and this one just screws on the actual camera lens, so I'm excited to give it a try. Let's go ahead and open up and show what's inside here. This thing was only 99 bucks, which was about the same price as I paid for the super cheap one I use. User's manual, then we have the teleprompter itself right up front, so it has a nice little shield to keep dust out if you leave it sitting up. That way you can just slide this off and keeps the glass from, or it might be plastic, but the glass from getting much dust on it, which can affect the image and your ability to see it. And then it has this
Time interpolation, frame blending.
the screw mount system, and I do have some step-up rings so I can adapt it to any lens size. Should be a lot easier, and make sure I'm actually always staring at the lens instead of like slightly to the right or left of it, but we'll see how easy it is to use. There won't be a manual trigger anymore. And actually they include a bunch of step. I got the step-up and step-down rings for a different reason, but it looks like they include a full stack of them here, so you can adapt it to any lens size. And then you just use their little mobile app to control the teleprompter, add the text in, and so on. So theoretically, way easier setup. We'll see if that actually turns out to be true.
Yeah, that is the same situation you're in now, where Gary Cubed Gaming no longer fits what you want to do. You don't want to be stuck in that situation more than once, if ever once.
But I felt it was time to get away from the super big teleprompter rig that I had been using. True. But I felt it was time to get away from the super big teleprompter rig that I had been.
And actually, I can do a punch-in with this. I can do like a really big punch-in too. And then just drag that down. Just to break up the monotony. It's not a new camera angle, but it's like a basic camera angle. So you are using a Rebel T3i for recording. That is my backup cam. That is my old camera that I used from 2012 till last year. So that was my back little side view cam. My main camera is the Panasonic G7 now. I upgraded from the T3i.
But I felt it was time to get away from the super big teleprompter rig that I had been using. All right, we're gonna go ahead and tackle these big Amazon.
So like this main view is my my Panasonic G7 with a Rokinon 12mm wide angle lens.
And B&H boxes that I've been basically taking out the whole frame. That way we can focus on some of the more exciting stuff.
Yeah, so this view was my T3i with a wide angle adapter on top of the kit lens.
Frame that way.
That's why it's got a little bit of vignetting, unfortunately.
We can focus on some of the more exciting stuff. I did actually just order a Manfrotto tripod legs and fluid video. That was close. I don't think any of that was on camera. Whew. I could have cut my mic cable too. Oh, I need to make sure it's still working. Okay. I had my big super sharp knife working. Okay. I had my big super sharp knife sitting on, apparently hanging off the edge of my table, and I elbowed it, and it flipped off and hit me and then fell on the floor. Could have cut my mic cable, could have stabbed me. Don't play with big knives, kids. Just because you see it on YouTube doesn't mean it's something you should be doing. Anyway, I ordered...
All right, so cut off those gaps, and then we can do a punch in on this as well. That did not punch in. Punch in! There we go. Why did you move from the Rebel series? Because the Rebel series is absolute trash for video. It's still, if I'm going to do digital stills, I'll still probably use my T3i, but for video, the Rebel series is trash. Like, maybe if you get up to the 7D and stuff, it's great. But for my budget, the T3i, T5i, T6i, those are trash for video. The kit lenses are garbage. Their video functions and features are horrific. And I was just tired of it. And so I was looking for a camera upgrade. It was time to move to 4K and stuff. And the Panasonic G7 for $500 is the best value video camera you could possibly get. And way better than my T3i. So.
Stabbed me. Don't play with big knives, kids. Just because you see it on YouTube doesn't mean it's something you should be doing. Anyway, I ordered a fluid video head and tripod legs from Manfrotto. It's more expensive than I normally spend on this stuff, but to get some more stable, nice shots for B-roll. So I'm super stoked to unbox these. And then I have a new LED light kit coming as well to replace my big...
And you can see up here, that's my phone mounted on the light stand for my other face cam angle. But this is my T3i view.
Bright CFL bulbs that I'm currently using that make this room super sweaty. I just showered before this video and I may need to rinse back off once I'm done shooting. All right, it's unboxing time. It's unboxing time. Unboxing time. Alright. B&H boxes are always super easy to open because you can see the main piece of tape you need to open, and that's all that is required. Set the knife up there, try not to stab myself this time. Alright, so this is the tripod legs. One giant box out of the way. So these are the tripod legs. No, this is the head, my bad. So this is the MVH 502AH, also known as the 502HD. They are the same.
Stock explosion after you cut. I could do that. I don't have a macro key for an explosion anymore. That sucks.
Tripod head, that confused me. And
actually, I do have something I could use. Hang on. Let me go back.
Super sweaty. I just showered. Unboxing time.
Yeah, well, I literally bought the knife just for doing unboxing, so there's nothing I could do to prevent cardboard and tape from making the knife less sharp when the whole point of the knife is to cut cardboard and tape. It works. Actually, okay, survey real quick here. Should I do this? Or move it for like a delayed effect, like this? Which one should I do? At the same time or afterwards, as if someone's screaming, like later, as if I just stabbed them? Let me know which one you prefer. I think I kind of like at the same time as me, but then there's that pause, so I don't know.
Alright.
Delayed? Okay. 2 people saying it's delayed. Or should do it delayed. Okay. So right there.
B&H boxes are always
Wilhelm scream, always appropriate.
super easy to open because you can see the main piece of tape you need to open, and that's all that is required. Set the knife up there, try not to stab myself this time. Alright, so this is the tripod legs.
Alright, I don't need any of that footage actually included. I can just ripple delete those out there.
one giant box out of the way. So these are the tripod legs. No, this is the head, my bad. So this is the MVH502AH, also known as the 502HD. They are the same tripod head that confused me and stalled me for a couple days as I was trying to figure out the difference. This is the big fancy fluid tripod head. So I'm going to pull the legs out so we can put them together and show the unboxing that way. But that is what the box looks like. I believe this other big box here will be my tripod legs. Might be the light kit too, I'm not really certain. What do we got in here? Actually, no, I believe this is the light kit. All right, so I'll pull this box out. And we will come back to it.
I need to get better about using more sound effects. I have this whole keyboard set up with sound effects, but I never find like good uses for them. The one I most like frequently find a use for is the Wilhelm scream.
Back to it. Yes, that is my light kit. So we.
All right, actually, I can do another J cut with that. There's no reason to just keep on that. So I can basically just put that in there, especially since Premiere thought it was a black frame again.
Yes, that is my light kit, so we will come back to that. I have no clue where this box is supposed to go. Let's just knock it off the table, shall we? Oh, it doesn't even fall off the table. There we go. All right, so this other big box would be the tripod legs. One came from Amazon, one came from B&H. Tripod legs. One came from Amazon, one came from B&H, so that was, they didn't come together. Although
come together right now.
Back into the video, I did get an email notification from UPS that B&H is shipping me something else. I can't imagine what it would be, but if it's something interesting, I'll just add it into this video so that everything's together. I haven't talked to anyone about review units, and I didn't order anything else. There's nothing else in my orders. Theoretically, it could be like a warranty or something, but I didn't pay for a warranty. It's not on my order list, like with my camera. And I believe with my camera, they ship the warranty USPS, not UPS. So I don't have a clue. Okay, so yeah, these are the tripod legs. The 055 or the MT055X Pro 3 because Manfrotto's product names are amazing.
Oh, the sound effect's broken. What happens when I move to network drives? Sound effects.
Are amazing.
All right, let me add that back to my macro keypad. There we go. We can put talking back like right there.
So these are the legs in the box. They are.
I will turn that down a little bit more for that. And then probably J cut it again. Actually, no, I don't need that clip at all. Well, yeah, I don't need that clip at all. So let's get rid of the sound effect too. Yeah, that's what I struggle to find a balance with sound effects.
So these are the legs in the
Usually box. I use like one sound effect every 2 videos.
Box. They are aluminum, I believe, not the carbon fiber ones. Yeah, aluminum, but they look like they will be what I need. So I guess we'll start assembling this process here.
Alright, see, none of that needs to be shown unless I'm actually showing the cutting action.
It's time to unbox.
I don't need that in there either. I was just trying to minimize the silence.
All right. In the tripod
right, we can get rid of that whole, all those clips. What type of chip clip device are you using to hold the phone? That's a good question. It's just a basic phone tripod I bought for... Actually, I did a video on it. So let me go that route. Because I don't want to search my orders like on stream. But if I do Note 5, I did it. I made a video about it specifically because it was big enough to hold my big giant Note 5, which very few things are. There we go. Tripod mount for huge phones. There we go. All right, here it is. Charger City Apple iPhone 7. I'll post a link in the chat. So it's got the handle, wrong button. The handle and the clip. And so the clip is all you really need. I'll post a link in the chat. And then I just have it on an actual, a little clamp mount to hold it to the light stand that just has a 1/4-20 thread on it.
This here in the tripod leg box should be fairly boring because it should all be put together and just be tripod legs. We shall see. Yay, actual styrofoam, my favorite. Yeah, there we go. Big beastly rig here. Expensive too. Thankfully I had, as a survey reward or cash back on a purchase when I ordered my camera, I had like a $30 B&H gift card in my email that I was able to use to save me a tiny bit on this. By the way, product links will be...
Why do people keep requesting to edit my Windows 10 customization guide document? Like, you can view it, you don't need to request to edit it. I'm not giving you edit permission when I don't even know who you are.
Will be in the description below. As always, I do have affiliate links for B&H and Amazon now, so if you are shopping for any of this, I appreciate it if you use my links. So, damn, this thing is beefy. I was wondering, like, my big concern was that I already had some decent but cheap tripod legs, and they were super light, so without any weighting system, I wasn't going to be able to keep it steady. But these are, like, it's not too heavy to move around, but it's hefty enough that it feels like it's going to hold things up well. Got rubber grips on the...
Oh, actually, you can see it better right here.
Okay.
Oh, my face covers it up now. Here, I'll do it this way. So that's a small rig clamp above the actual clip with the handle. And the clip with the handle came together. They just screw into each other. Both are 1/4-20 threads. And then the small rig clamps onto the light stand and then just has the 1/4-20 thread that I screwed the phone mount onto. So there you can see it. Pretty handy. Like, I mainly use it as like a phone tripod mount, but when I was trying to figure out how else I could have a face cam when my entire table was blocked off by boxes, that's what came to mind, and it worked out great, actually. And the wide angle of my phone selfie cam is actually pretty cool.
Got rubber grips on two of the legs here, and then we got latch locks, big beefy locks to actually secure the leg length, which is kind of neat. And then the main mounting point on top here with a cap on. We'll leave that on for the moment and get to the tripod head here.
All right, none of that unboxing needs to be included.
Now this is the 502.
There we go.
Here. Now this is the 502 HD fluid video head, which again is going to make my pan and tilt shots a lot smoother. I am also looking into a slider system soon. I still have to review my super cheap like $100 slider I got a couple years back, but I am looking for an upgrade. I think I have found the one I want from Sellens. I think that's the brand. It's super obscure, but it looks to be like the Shark S1 but cheaper. So we'll see how that goes. So in the box we get the tripod head itself. Which
It sounds like I said Shark Ass 1. It's Shark S1, not the Shark Ass tripod. It's a nice Shark Ass tripod you have there.
It's huge and beefy. The carrying handle, well, that's not a carrying handle, it's a pan and tilt handle basically. And that looks to be all that's in the dividers in this box down here. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Much more excitingly packaged than any of the other video gear I've bought as well. And you get to choose here on the left or the right which side your handle gets mounted on, which is really cool. All right, so we simply take the tripod legs, screw off this little cap, and we screw on the tripod head. And then we have Manfrotto's quick release system. I may still throw an Arca Swiss plate on there. I'm running out of plates and clamps. I don't know where a lot of them went, to be honest. So I'm going to need to order some more soon if I'm going to stick with the Arca Swiss system. Manfrotto's system, you just kind of loosen that, and then it slides out, and then you have a button down here, I believe, which completely lets it free. It moves, and that lever. So fairly straightforward. Well, that's not going to go back in. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, the screws are like on top of each other. There we go, yeah. And then tighten this little latch on the side, and it's rock solid in place. And you have two different types of attachment screws. I guess I'll have to take one off if I don't use, since I'm not using that fat one. That way you can attach like an entire other tripod head, I guess, if you wanted. So then if we attach the arm here on the right.
Making bacon.
Making bacon. Thank you for following Off the Geek End. We are doing an editing live stream today, as you can see. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we do normal game streaming. So I will resume that tomorrow. Thank you for the follow. Hope to see you in future streams. And thank you for hanging out with us. We are almost to 1K follower hype.
Got little notches to lock it into place on the head. And this thing is rock solid. Like, I am super impressed. And if I loosen up the fluid system on the left here. Oh.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a lot of screwing this up just so people don't yell at me, and because it's dead air until I find the latches. Just so people don't be like, oh, you broke your expensive tripod, dumbass.
Oh, that is loosening it off of the tripod itself. It's squeaky too. I'm gonna have to look at the manuals so I don't break it. Last thing I want to do is like screw this up. Oh, there's a freaking lever. Ooh, that is smooth. Once you figure out what the hell you're doing. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to cut out all of that. Don't need any flaming comments. According to Two Buddies Tab Explorer, gay is a film genre. Actually, probably.
Oh. Ooh, that is smooth. Once you figure out what the hell you're doing. Yeah, there's a lock here too. Oh man, oh yeah. All right, so these knobs on the side tighten or loosen the system, the like tension. So that's super loose. I want it a little bit tighter. So lock up here. Ooh, that is super smooth. And then same thing with left or right. You can tighten that system. This thing is going to be amazing. So I'm going to lock everything back into place here, and now it's rock solid as a tripod. Pretty beefy rig. I am so freaking stoked. This is going to make my B-roll.
No, I don't keep anything a secret when something actually breaks. It's just when people decide to tell me that I'm doing everything wrong and that they know better than I do, when their explanations often don't make any sense.
Production. So much better. Really worthwhile investment.
Or what's even better is when I specifically address what they're talking about in the video and they still act like they're adding to the discussion or correcting me. Like, that makes me more mad.
All right, we have a couple things left here to unbox. We have this, which is it's supposed to be like a box. We have this, which is...
Ooh, that's a weird cut. Let me do like that. And drop those two up and down. Maybe that's gonna be a little bit better.
Unbox. We have this, which is it's supposed to be like a karaoke microphone.
Whatever, it's fine. No one's gonna notice. No one's probably even gonna watch this far into this video. If I'm honest.
It's a wireless microphone system from local artist UHF, I guess. I think there was another company that actually sent me it, but it's an Amazon listing. Just a basic wireless mic system.
I'm streaming, buddy. You don't get to interrupt.
So this might be a good convention or show wireless system for me. Basic handheld mic, and I can have a mic for people to talk and things like that. Get myself one of those little square cards that go around it to say like who I am and stuff. Might be kind of cool. I don't really know. I've had this for a couple months and haven't actually gotten to take a look at it yet. I also have a wireless lav mic system.
Get Sony Vegas. Get out. Get out. Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh, it's my fiance. Okay, I will be right back. I do apologize. All right, so I need to unfortunately abruptly end this live stream. We forgot that it's Derby weekend and my fiance works downtown and there's going to be parades going through and that would interrupt my ability to pick her up. So I need to leave and pick up my fiance. So apologies. So I will see you guys in the next live stream / stream VOD / whatever. Depending on what we're doing, I might be able to pick this up in like an hour because there's still clearly a lot of editing to go. But yes, real life comes first. Apologies. This is why you do some sort of giveaway with that giveaway information where it's in the last 10, 15 to 20% of the video. All about that information. Yeah, very important to do it in that order. But yeah, gotta go, guys. Apologies. I usually don't like, I don't like ending my stream so abruptly, but unfortunately, there is no going around it. I might be on a little bit later today. If not, I'll see you tomorrow for the normal live stream. Have a great rest of your day.